Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Rangers Rabble podcast. Pre-match build-up to Rangers travels to Prague to face Sparta in the Europa League. Important game. Everybody in the group is on 3 points. Hopefully an exciting game. Hopefully an entertaining game. And of course, obviously, hopefully, a Rangers win. I am joined tonight by Kerr, Ross Clark, and the saviour of the show last night, Stuart. Firstly, Kerr, my friend, how are you?
No bad, Martin. Just rushed in for work to come on here because Stuart can't make the pre-match, so I said I would jump on for him because I knew I'd be home early enough. So I'm looking forward to the game and happy to be back on here seeing you're a glimmer.
It's all about Kerr, innit? I rushed home for work. Oh, I'm the saviour of the show. Oh, look at me. All about Kerr. And it's Stu, by the way, not Stuart, because Stuart's joined us, isn't he? Ross, how are you?
Good, mate. Very good. Thank you. Rushed home for work, Martin. I was honestly, I was working. I had to fold down my work's laptop and open up this one. It was hectic, mate. It was really, really hectic. I wasn't sure I was going to make it, but here I am.
Oh, mate, listen, I know, and I really, really appreciate all the hard work you've done to get on tonight. It's not many people would do that, so I appreciate that. Stuart, how are you?
I'm all right, and I genuinely did rush home from work a wee bit to do this, so I did do it, but I all good. Looking forward to what should be an interesting 90 minutes coming up, I think.
Well, I mean, I hope it's interesting at a point, but it's not too interesting that we're shiting ourselves. But there we go. The team lineup for tonight is, of course, Jack Butland in goal, a back four of Tav, Suter, Goldson and Ben Davies. I'm sure that's something that we'll talk about. Midfield, three of Lundstrom, Cantwell, Raskin, and a front three of Sima, Lammers and Dessers. Before we get into the lineups, Ross, in the game tonight, as far as the season goes, as far as where Rangers are right now, how important is the Europa League, or is it not that important in the grand scale of where we are right now?
I've been taking lessons off a gaffer, mate. He wants to win everything. So I think that there's obviously good financial rewards because, let's face it, we need another rebuild next season, don't we? I don't think that will happen as soon as Christmas. As soon as the Christmas window. Don't know why Christmas went, the January window. So I think that the Europa League for us, we're in a favourable group. We're in a group that we would have expected to have been able to get out of when we had Mick B on charge. Never mind we've got an actual manager. So I think it's important. I think every game's important for us. I think we need to get a winning mentality bred through the team. We need to get players that are going to have confidence. And we've seen in the Champions League last year what getting beat on a Thursday does to the team's confidence when you go into other games. So I don't think you can take the Europa League and make it any less or any more important than every game we're playing at the moment. I think we just need to start winning games. Doesn't matter if it's the Petrofac Cup or whether it's the Champions League. We just need to be winning games and starting to breed that mentality again.
I know, and look, Kerr, the only reason I asked that to start off with was I seen some discussion on social media earlier about, the importance of the Europa League, but people want to get this League Cup won. We've not won it for a long time. Obviously, we want to be doing better than the league. Is the Europa League a slight distraction, if you like? But people tend to put all those conversations to bed on the day of a game, don't they? On the night of a game.
They do, and you know yourself, we've done reasonably well in the Europa League in the last couple of seasons, result-wise. And listen, as a Rangers fan, we just have to take each game as it comes because we looked too far ahead with the last manager and we thought we were going to do this and do that and look what happened. So I think under this new guy, Philippe Clement, I think we just look forward to every game.
Clement.
I think he knows himself. He's going to see what these players offer him and he can give them. And then, like Ross says, once that Christmas window opens, he can maybe get a bit of money to spend and see who else he can bring in to help. But I'm happy with him coming in the door. I think Ross is spot on when he said we've actually got a guy in charge who demands respect and he offers it as well. But I think the players know they've got a guy who knows his stuff instead of somebody who just talks a good game.
So, and sometimes people don't even talk a good game, and that is slightly the issue. Stuart, hopefully we'll hear from the manager shortly. I believe he's done all his interviews and stuff, so it'll be good to hear what he's got to say about his lineup and that tonight. But before we come to the game, your thoughts then on that starting lineup? Is it got to the point pretty much where he's not got a lot to pick from?
No, it doesn't, and I think you can see that from the bench. There's a lot of youngsters on there. I think last night we talked about what options he would have on that left-hand side. I think we all kind of felt it would be Ben Davies that would come in. I see a lot of the comments are saying that the manager spoke about the fact it's going to be a 3-5-2 that he's going. I suppose time will tell on that. I would imagine that then means that Sima will be kind of on that left-hand side, having to do a bit of donkey work up and down. He seems to be able to kind of do that right enough. So Tav obviously provide that in the right, Cantwell tucking in, and then I kind of almost a front two with Lammers and Dessers. So no great shock. The one thought, I mean, potentially I thought he might kind of keep it very similar and go with Scott Wright tonight. Just I don't think anybody is under the illusion that Scott Wright's an absolute superstar, but he probably does have a bit of genuine pace, which I'm not sure we've got a great deal of in this team. So, maybe just his ability to for us to maybe knock the ball long, go in behind was maybe an option. He can carry the ball. That was potentially an option, but I think it was down to Lammers or Wright for that. But if it is a 3-5-2, then I can understand why he's went with what he's doing. It'll be interesting to see that right enough, because he won't have had a lot of time to implement a 3-5-2, I would imagine, with these guys. So it'll be interesting to see how we do. Some people have been crying out for that for quite a while. Scott Kerr, have you been one of them?
I've been saying play 3 at the back, but I don't know if I would try it away in Europe. But if that's what he's going with, then I'm happy to see it as long as it works. I've been interested to see where he plays. Lundstrom is going to play more central, is going to play him as a middle of the 2 at the back and put maybe Davies out on the left. I don't know what way he's going to go. Or does he play Davies as a left sidey centre back and you say bring back Seema? It'll be interesting to see how he goes and to see how we start up. But listen, we should just go out and try and attack Sparta tonight. I don't see there's any reason why we shouldn't. I think they're a decent side, but on our day, so are we. So just hopefully it's a good game and we come out at the top with the 3 points.
Sorry, folks, internet issues as per usual on the Rabble. If there's not one thing that goes wrong, it's definitely internet issues anyway. Ross, in terms of Sparta, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched their games back and I really know anything about them. But I suppose it's different in Europe to the league. But how do the players approach this then, considering the dross that we've seen in Limassol?
Yeah, we've just got to go and be positive, Martin. Again, you're playing in a tournament, and this is probably the toughest fixture of the group away to them, I would think. So maybe it helps the players. Maybe they're playing without that expectation of winning. See quite a lot of folk on the social media and stuff saying a draw would be a good result. Maybe that's the kind of environment that our players will thrive in, to go and not having any expectation, playing without that wee bit of apprehension and the confidence that will bring, that they can just go and play their game. And if they win, obviously we're supporters, so we expect them to win. But I would imagine if you offered Philippe Clermont a draw right now, he would take it, I would imagine. So I think it can help, mate, playing in a hostile environment where there's some bad blood between you and the city. And some of the comments and interviews I've seen through this week, folk over there still blaming us and Kamara for past incidents in that city and stuff. There's a bit of bad blood, mate, and hopefully our players can just go and play their football, let their stuff on between the white lines of the park they're talking, and come back with a favourable result.
Yeah, of course. For everybody watching, thank you for tuning in, by the way. Please do like. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. Give us a follow on Twitter and Facebook and all the links and stuff for socials are in the description. A massive thank you to Charlie Hilling for the super sticker. Thank you for helping to support the show, Charlie. Much appreciated. We can now hear from the manager. He spoke to Rangers TV just before the start of the game tonight, obviously. And it'll be interesting to hear if he does talk about that free to back. But anyway, let's hear from the manager ahead of tonight's match against Sparta Prague.
Philip, we'll start on team news tonight. 2 changes. One of those is obviously enforced with the Borna Barisic injury. Can you just talk us through your team this afternoon or this evening?
Yeah, Davies comes in place of Borna, but not in the same way. He's not a natural left fullback, so we're going to play with 3 in the back today against this team. More natural for him. They did it in the past a bit, not too much. We trained on it. So I think it's the best way to start this game. And like this, we play in a 3-5-2.
Yeah, how have preparations been for this one, and how's the mood in the squad ahead of this game?
Yeah, it was short preparation, of course, with missing 2 fullbacks. It's not easy to change the system, what I didn't want to do after a good game, home game, and you want to build on that next couple of weeks, but we didn't have another solution in that way. And the team trained well. They were really focused. They're really hungry today also. So I expect them to play a good game.
What have been the key messages from you to your team heading into this game?
Yeah, that we need to show ourselves like we showed on Saturday, to start really aggressive, that you're directly in the game, to play forward, create our chances, a lot of movement, keeping the same aggressivity, and not thinking it's an away game, we start slow, we let them attack first. No, we want to play this game like home game.
I know I've said it before, and I'm not getting carried away. I promise everybody I'm not getting carried away. But I said before, I think I love him. No, I genuinely just do love him. Stuart, we're not used to hearing a manager, and I suppose I'm just about to be extremely hypocritical, right? We moaned about Michael Beale coming out and maybe saying too much in press conferences. It's unusual to hear a manager coming out and saying, nope, this is exactly the way we're going to play. We're going to play 3-5-2, etc., etc. But at the same time, it's also nice to hear the manager saying that. I think that's because maybe we've got a slightly more trust, albeit in a very short space of time in Clermont. But there you go. Question answered. 3-5-2. So Tav playing slightly more advanced, and it'll be Ben, Connor, and Suter at the back.
Yeah, absolutely sounds that way. What I like about him is there's a bit of clarity about him. You know, I think by the end of Beale's reign, I think there was quite a lot of people feeling that, do these players actually know what they're doing when they're actually going onto the park? What sort of message have they got? The way he comes across, whether it's a press conference or just a wee interview like that, he's very clear. And yeah, you can imagine he's given that clarity a message to these players tonight. So yeah, look, it's 3-5-2. You know, it will be interesting to see how that goes, because let's be honest, he hasn't had a long time to work on that. I mean, these are players who should be able to deal with that situation. You've got Davies has played in that formation before, so you know we should be able to do it. What I like about it is the fact, though, that he's saying here, we're not here to sit in, you know, and try and sneak a result. We want to try and be on the front foot. How often have we seen Rangers teams start games poorly and then have to get a rocket up their arse at half time and know we're already chasing? It happened in Cyprus the last time. We didn't get going at all. We need to try and be on the front foot here. This team concede goals. We've seen that. So, you know, let's test them. I think I'm still a bit edgy about us at the back. Not our goalkeeper, but I just think, you know, set pieces, etc. So let's see if we can play the game in their half. Just when you dropped off, we were talking, there's been people asking for 3-5-2, so, you know, maybe not in a European away game, but here we are. So let's see if it actually suits. Do we get to see a bit more of Tav? Does it suit him better? Does it take a bit of the pressure off him in terms of having to do both ends of it? So look, I'm quite happy. I just like his clarity, a message. You know, now it's over to the players to hopefully perform for him.
What I also like, Kerr, is he's come out and said there, we don't have the players in that position to be able to play that way. So rather than just shoehorn Ben Davies into left back and expect him to try and play that left back role that he clearly can't play, he's changed it.
He seems to know Ben's most of his career played in a back three, and John Souttar's played a lot of that in a back three as well, unlike the previous manager. No, it's good to see he's not just shoehorn people in, and they've tried it in training as well. Obviously, they've tried before this tonight, they've tried to work on it, so it's good to see, and it'll be good to see what the players do, because some of these players are fighting for a future at Rangers, because they're still to impress this guy. Some of them aren't as sold on positions as they maybe think they were under the last manager, so they're still to impress, and they'll have to do that, Martin, because we know there's window in January, we know there's one in the summer, and some of these guys, they might be on long contracts, but listen, you have to try and get a tune out of them, and some of them, if they want to stay longer, they'll have to prove to manager they're worth a shot to keep around, you know. So I'm looking forward to it, but at least, like Stuart said, he's got an idea of what he wants, and the players have an idea what he's telling them as well. They'll have certain positions to play in, they'll know their roles, unlike previously the players did look lost, I have to say.
I mean, it was like the show lost, wasn't it? That's how bad it was. Ross, Aaron's asking a question that I was going to ask anyway. Left wing back, it will be Sima, I would imagine. And the reason that I think it will be Sima is because he's got the pace, but he's also got the fitness, he's got the durability, and we've seen him do it in games. You know, 88th, 89th minute, he's chasing back right into our half. He's got that ability, but it's a slightly different role for him.
It's got to be Seema. I'm just looking at the other candidates there, and none of them are wingers. Never mind wing backs with a defensive side. My worry for the night is he looks like your brightest spark in front of goal, and you're going to lose that. And listen, I don't want to keep bashing on the two guys. I know Dessers scored at the weekend, but it's not a strike force. It's going to look as if they could score you 3 goals tonight for a 3-1 win, does it? It seems been your biggest option for a goal this season by a mile. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get maybe a Lundstrom covering out towards the left, being able to use his left foot. We've seen.
Sorry, Ross. Are you not surprised that maybe Jack Ryan's not playing?
I heard Jack Ryan. I looked at the list, mate, and Jack Ryan wasn't eligible, so he's.
I mean, Ryan Jack on the bench, but because we have maybe that, that wee issue in the left-hand side. I mean, I know that Jack usually does it for Tav on the other side, but that kind of job in midfield, that's Jack's bread and butter, isn't it? Covering the fullback.
Yeah, but as the manager so eloquently put it there, aggressivity. He's got a lot of aggressivity, Jack, when he covers the position. That's Jack's bread and butter, mate. But I think Lundstrom having... Yeah, I've watched Lundstrom. I've mentioned this on the podcast before. But I don't even know if Lundstrom's right or left-footed. He's pretty comfortable on both, eh?
There is a possibility that he's no-footed, but that's just my opinion.
Does it give you the option, but first, when Seema having a licence to go forward, then Lundstrom just kind of floating out to cover that space? Because I don't think you would want to lose Seema to be kind of running about the halfway line most of the game, because I don't think this is a game where it's going to be Rangers 70% possession with the ball played in their third all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it doesn't really matter what Clement's obviously come up with a plan that he thinks can work with the team he's got, but there's only one guy you can blame for the fact that, and it's Mick Beale for only registering one left back who's a notorious injury merchant. The amount of niggles he goes down with is unbelievable, and you can go on again to signing left-sided players that are never fit when it comes to Dowell, and Sterling's injured. He's hardly had a kick since he's been up. So, but a lot of this is stuff that's been left to the new manager, and he's trying to make a decent meal out of Aldi meats and totties and shit. So he's trying his best to get you a culinary delight, but he's not been left with much good ingredients, mate.
Can I just
think
say
that's-
there's absolutely hee-hawing with Aldi, and if Aldi would like to sponsor the podcast, then I would be more than happy. Then I would start shopping at Aldi. But yeah, so how's the team lining up then, Stuart? Obviously, we've got the free to back. We've got most probably Seema on the left, Tav on the right, Lundstrom and Raskin in the middle. We kind of Cantwell as a free role. Is that how we see it?
Yep, absolutely. I think, Cantwell and Tav kind of linking up on that right hand side, but it's going to be Tav that's going to try and have to give you the width there. So I'd be more than happy. People have been crying out as well that they want to see Cantwell being given that 10 role rather than being too deep. This formation should allow him that opportunity to try and pick up those wee pockets of space. Hopefully, maybe do like the pass for the fourth goal at the weekend. That's where we want him. Can he do that? So yeah, no, that'll absolutely be the formation. I think Ross is spot on. Seema looks our biggest goal threat, so we've got, if he is playing off that left hand side, we've got to try and make sure that we're playing at least periods of this game in their half to allow him to influence it, rather than him having to be turning back and facing his own goal. He's not going to be any use to us there. So it's, as the manager said, we've got to try and be on the front foot. We can't be sitting back here. Got to try and play in their half, make them defend. I mentioned last night something that I thought wasn't mentioned enough. The first goal at the weekend, what I really liked about it was the fact that we had two forwards close together and occupying two centre halves. Far too often, I feel we don't make defenders defend, and actually, all right, there was a bit of a ricochet, but the fact that they were close together gave those two centre halves a problem. We've got, although it might be slightly different tonight in the personnel that up there, again, can we influence that back line of Sparta to make them defend and take a bit of pressure off again, which I still have a bit of a nervousness about our defence. So it's about playing in their half for them. But yeah, Cantwell being free, but I think he'll be able to roam, help Tav out, but Tav needs to provide the width on the right hand side.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to Cantwell in a minute, Keir, but probably the biggest, not issue, worry, I suppose is probably more the correct term, is of course, as you have mentioned, scoring goals. Obviously, you have mentioned Seema's, our biggest threat. But Keir, it looks as though we will be going with an attacking option of Lammers and Dessers, that terrifying duo. Dessers got his goal at the weekend. He took it very, very well. But we are relying, I suppose, tonight on two players who don't exactly exude confidence when it comes to scoring goals. I'm trying to be as nice as I can.
They haven't since they've come into the club, Martin, but maybe they've got a manager that might believe in them, might be telling them, might be giving instructions where to be in the park.
Lammers hit the post for 2 yards out at the weekend, Keir.
I know, but I thought he was involved more at the weekend. I thought he actually played okay, and I thought Dessers done okay as well. I thought he pressed at times as well, and I thought he took his goal really well. It was a really good finish from him. And if that was somebody low in confidence, he might not have finished up like that. Listen, it's all we've got just now. Danilo's on the bench, so he's going to have to go with they two. I think Lammers will have a free role, a bit like Cantwell tonight. Dessers will be up there on his own, but I think Cantwell and Lammers will support him. Seema will be getting up, Tav will be getting up, and listen, if they're getting broke on, then you'll probably find Lundstrom will drop back and Ben will come across to the left side to cover. Listen, the players have all got a role, but they all know they have to cover for each other as well, especially if people are out of position. And you've seen that, you mentioned it before with Ryan Jack doing it, so Cantwell might end up having to do it for Tav as well. So it's a team game, Martin, so we have to help each other. But just having confidence, I think confidence in Saturday for Dessers getting the goal is going to help him. And I think Lammers done okay on Saturday because I thought he played quite well. So, and you can turn around and say it's only Hibs, but would we have beat Hibs if Michael Beale was in charge? Probably not, because the confidence in the team on the playing well. I thought in Saturday it was different. The players looked confident, the players looked up for it, and they were actually smiling in the park, which I've not done for a while. So, listen, the players have to start believing in themselves, like I said earlier, if they want to be here, and that starts tonight.
Listen, I think we would have struggled against Kings Park Secondary School with Michael Beale in charge as manager. Let's be brutally honest about it. No, Ross, and like I say, look, just over 15 minutes till kick-off. I don't want to sit here and be negative, but at the same time, we're away, tricky game in Europe, and we've had to reshuffle the formation. We've had to kind of move our best goal-scoring threat, more wide, more defensive. So we are relying on, and I think it's changed slightly. The worry was always just Dessers, and Lammers was he might come good, but I think it's actually went a 180 now. I think we're more worried about Lammers than we are Dessers.
Aye. Mate, as I said, the boys in my group chat the other day, Dessers and Lammers would have been good squad players if you'd have brought them in for $700,000 each. Right, for me, for the team on Saturday, if that's your best team, once Danilo's fit, he plays up top. If every striker we've got's all fit at the one time and you're playing Celtic at Parkhead, Roof still starts for me. Mm-hmm. And once Cantwell's up to speed and you've got Lawrence, I don't think you'll see much of Lammers either. I think they've been expensive mistakes, but at the moment they're all we've got. It's Kersey's. They want to be on here sitting and saying they're absolute crap. You don't want to be saying that, but a quick look at their scoring records over the last 3-4 years, it's not exactly terrifying, is it? As you say, so got to make the best of what we've got, support them. Hopefully they get a bit of confidence. Hopefully Dessers could be another one of the ones. If he scores the night and then he scored 2 in a row, does that then get him on a wee sort of roll? But as I say, if it wasn't for not having a left back tonight, I don't think Lammers would be playing, mate. I think you'd have a left back in there, Seema pushed on one, and Cantwell playing in the 10. So I don't think you're going to need to worry about that for much longer, to be honest.
No, I tend to agree with that as well. Stuart, 2 quick points for you. Just quickly, I'll read out the bench. Is McCrory right? It's the 2 goalkeepers, and you've got Jack King, Scott Wright, Devine, McCausland, Fraser, Lyle, who I have waxed lyrical about. I think he's a fantastic player. McKinnon and Danilo. So, reading that bench out, you can see why the managers went with who he's went with. Danilo obviously still coming back for that horrendous injury. So he's nowhere near ready to start, I don't think. But Cantwell, Stuart, he's not obviously anywhere near 100% fully match fit yet. But a 50% Cantwell is better than 99.9% players in our league, in my opinion. And if he's on form tonight, then we've got a really good chance.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, I think you've seen from his kind of brief cameo that he made on Saturday, he's what he can bring to this team. He does things that no other player in this squad does, and he's important. And he's the heartbeat of it, isn't it? He kind of leads from the front. He can set the tone for things. So he's vitally important. Whether we'll get a full 90 out of him, I'm not sure. But I'd much rather that we have a Todd Cantwell starting the game and getting 65, 70 out of him than, getting 25 at the end of the match. So, look, he's vitally important, but, he's got to be supported tonight. He can't do it all on his own. And, so can we get the ball to him in dangerous areas? What we don't want to be seeing is Todd Cantwell on the edge of his own box. We need it to be the edge of their box. Can he be influencing the game there? That means that we need to be getting that back 3 pushed up, getting wing backs pushed up, the midfield in front pushing on, so that actually we're playing in the right areas. That's where he'll influence the game the most. But the rest of the team have got to support him in doing that.
Aye, they do. And Kurt, that sounded awful, like my accent there, didn't it? I was going to say something and I thought, no, don't say it, Martin, you'll offend people. Aye, that is true, Kurt. And at the same time, I think we've got a player in there beside him or round about him anyway, Nico Raskin, who certainly showed that he's starting to play better than he has been, because I don't think he's been anywhere near his top form all season. And saying that, neither has many of the players at the club. But we were certainly expecting big things for Raskin, and now he's got his fellow countrymen and his manager. We might start seeing a bit more out of him.
Hopefully, Martin, because he came in and he hit the ground running, didn't he? But I think, like you said, like everybody at the start of the season, I think they weren't happy with what was going on behind the scenes. They were frustrated the way we were playing, the way games were going. I think once that starts to go through one or two players and go through the rest of the team, there's only one way it went, and that's why the manager's not here anymore. So I think with a guy and his countryman in who understands the game better, he'll give him better instructions. And listen, if Rashid can get back to any way he was when he first came in, then we're going to have a good player in our hands. We all know that, and we all know ourselves. He said his ambitions to play in the English Premiership. So if he wanted to do that, he has to play better than what he's doing at the moment, doesn't he? So listen, Nico scored a good goal on Saturday. You can see, like I said earlier, smiles back in his face as well. Listen, the guys are going to have, I keep saying it, if they believe in themselves, that some good players there, but it just can't happen. They have to make it happen. And they're the only people that can, no matter who's in charge, if it's Mick Beale, Philippe Lamont, anybody else.
That was a shocking attempt, by the way.
That was a talking attempt, didn't it?
But
no
basically
matter
just sang his name there.
I know, no matter who's in charge, the players, like, well, no, it's a football cliche, but as soon as you go into the park, they're the guys that have to make it happen. And some of them when they're doing it, some of them when they believe in themselves, some of them are playing half-hearted. But this is where they have to go out and prove that they're actually good footballers and they deserve to beat Rangers.
Yeah. Okay, Ross, what is a positive night for us tonight? Again, I asked this question without any great, and maybe I should, because I run a podcast, know a little bit about the opposition we're about to face, right? So maybe that's on me, but what's a positive outcome tonight for Rangers?
A win. I think a win. I don't think we should be going into games saying that a draw is a positive result, mate. I don't think we're the seed one, pot one team, aren't we, in this group? So we should be expecting to win every game. I expect us to win every game anyway, Martin. So
see, that was a trick question, and you passed. Well done.
It's a win, mate. It's got to be a win. It's got to be. After the shit show they served us up the last game in Europe, it's got to be a win. We've set ourselves back 3 points for where the overall plan would be. So even if you had no plan to win this game, in order to get the points total that you're expecting, you've got to go and win this game, mate. And I think we will.
I mean, that's actually a great point, Stuart, in terms of that result against Limassol. You could have maybe, if you're, you know how like when you sit at the start of a group before you play any games and you go, right, we'll get a win there, a draw there. We'll try and no get beat there in Europe. That Limassol result, has that actually made this now a must-win in terms of the group?
Well, I think it's put added pressure onto it. I think when you get a victory against Betis at home, you know, that sets the group up for you absolutely perfectly. And yeah, we should have went to Cyprus and won. You know, they are a poor team. They deserve to beat us on that night, by the way. I'm not saying that they didn't, but they're a poor team. We should be sitting with 6 points out of 6 and in an absolute pole position. And going here tonight, a victory pretty much secures qualification one way or the other. You know, that's it done. That result in Cyprus has added a bit of pressure onto it now that it's brought everybody back in. We're all sitting there on 3 points. So, yeah, I know if we get the victory tonight, again, I think it puts us in an incredibly strong position with 2 home games out the last 3 to come, one of which, again, against the weakest side. So, yeah, there's added pressure tonight. I don't think a draw is a bad result, but I like what the manager said, that, you know, we're going to be positive. Let's go and take the game to them and let's try and get the victory.
And I mean, look, we could sit here for another half an hour discussing this, but the game starts in just under 10 minutes. So I don't want to go on too much more care. And I like the way the manager's speaking, and I completely agree with everything that he said. But at the end of the day, this is still a group of players who haven't shown that courage of being able just to go and take the game to opponents. And we're probably playing tonight a team who is a step above most teams in our league. So I'm not even going to get you to answer that point because we'll be here all night. So do you know what, Keir? Give me a prediction. Don't know why I repeated it. But
prediction. I said earlier it was going to be a draw, so I'll have to stick with that. So I'll say 2 each.
Right, who gets the first goal?
They'll score first.
Right, okay. Ross.
3-0 Rangers, John Suter.
Oh, and John Suter. Nice. Stuart.
I think it'll be a score draw, and I think Dessers will score tonight.
We'll see the last 2 games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've predicted the correct score. Albeit in one of those games, I did predict Dessers to get a hat-trick, which was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I got the correct score, so hopefully I can keep that going, and I'm going to say 3-1 Rangers, Dessers hat-trick. Just hopefully that keeps it going. We are back just after the game for obviously full post-match reaction. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications switched on YouTube, so you know exactly what time we are coming back at. With Philly Steele, with a nice wee comment there. There he's gone.
Shite.
Yeah, he was. He was full of shit. There you go. So yeah, make sure you get your notifications and all that switched on. Give the show a like, subscribe, follow us on all our social channels. I'm getting people in the comments telling me to sit down. I am sitting down. I don't know why they're saying that. But anyway, everybody, go and enjoy the game. Go and watch the game. Enjoy it. And enjoy our Rangers win the night. And enjoy that Dessers hat-trick. And thank you to Stuart, Kerr and Ross. Thank you everybody watching, etc. And we will see you shortly after full time.